Hi friends, Mindy here. I have a process video for you today. You may recognize this journal that I created. This was about a month ago, I think. I'll try to remember to link the video down below. But this was from a DIY kit from Bythewell4god. And I was originally intending on doing this for something else, but I am going out of town. I'm going to retreat. And so I thought this would be a really fun way to kind of document my time. My husband and I are taking a little mini vacation before the retreat. And so we're going to kind of all tie that together. So what I decided to do, I had substituted out most of those file folders for the neutral ones that were released, and I just added a couple of the colored ones, the blue and one of the greens, back in so that I would have a file folder for each day that we are gone. And then I'm just going to kind of document this whole little trip. So I'm adding one of these file folders back in. You can see I just have that same twine from when I bound this journal originally. You could certainly undo the whole thing and redo it, but I didn't want to waste all of that twine. So I'm just adding these in simply by running that twine underneath the knot on the spine, and then I will just add a little knot here on the inside, and it will look just like the others and will function in the same way in that you can pull this little folder in and out and work on it. And so I decided actually to do this the morning of that we were supposed to be leaving to go on our vacation. And so while I'm supposed to be packing up all my things, I'm actually creating this journal. And so what I decided to do is just very simply decorate the front of each one of these file folders. Each one of these days is going to represent a day of the trip that we're going on. And so I'm using the 49 and Market Wherever collection. I love this collection. I've done another journal actually with it, and I kind of have been hoarding some of the pieces, so because I knew I wanted to do a travel journal, another one. And so I just thought this would be the best way to kind of use up some of these pieces, especially those little chipboard pieces that are over there on the left, because they're pretty thick. Most of the time when I use those in some other kinds of journals, I will actually tear the back of those off to make them just a little bit thinner because they're pretty heavy duty. But in this journal, I just went ahead and glued them down exactly as they were. So I had this entire collection. So I have the paper, I have the ephemera pieces, I have the chipboard, I have the rub-ons. And so that is what I'm going to be using for this particular journal. So this first page, I just added one of the pattern papers and one of the little quotes, and that's going to be it for this page. It's going to keep these very simple because I'm going to be adding to them, like I said, and when I add to them, I may or may not want to add other decorations. It will just depend, but you can see how it will just pull out, and so this will kind of work for day one. And I did this one specifically because it has a little road on it, and we're basically taking a extended road trip because we're going from Georgia to New Hampshire and making a couple stops along the way in a few different places. So, and I love like all the maps and everything in this collection. Like I said, I love this collection a lot. So this is one of the ephemera pieces, and then I used one of the little globe pieces again, just because we're traveling and we're going to be hitting multiple states on our way, and so we really enjoy going on road trips like this, and so this is just going to be a fun way to kind of document all of that. So just going through all of the little different ephemera pieces. There's really no rhyme or reason. I wasn't trying to match up the ephemera with like the day of what we were doing, because one of the things that I can do is if there's one where it's like a traveling day or where we do a lot of driving and I have a car on that day, I can always move these folders around. That's the good thing about this binding, and it will be easy to kind of pull everything out and put it back in as I'm saving receipts. I have pictures and that kind of stuff. So I have another little piece of the cardstock here. This is going to be just another super simple day, and I really didn't try to do too much to these days. Like I said, here I thought I was going to use the little fabric washi down at the bottom, but it was just too much. So I just ended up kind of putting another ephemera piece down in the bottom right hand corner, and that will keep everything just sort of balanced a little bit better, because this was actually a scrap paper from when I created a journal previously out of this collection. So this is one of the rub-ons. I found it easiest to use the rub-ons when you just cut out the section that you want, and I love the 49 and Market rub-ons. They're always easy to use, but they always have a distressed look to them, which I really love. And so you'll see I'm going over this kind of with a little popsicle stick here. And I just start very slowly at the top and kind of see, like, if I can tell that I'm not getting some of the areas, like right there, I just went back in and, you know, use that popsicle stick a little bit more. And I just kind of go really slowly. And that's the great thing about rub-ons, is you can kind of make sure that you're getting that whole image. But I love that it has a distressed look to it already. So, like the edges are always, you know, really distressed looking and stuff. And so I really, really love their 49 Market rub-ons. And then I had this fun car, and then this other little map piece. These are just kind of layering elements. I know 49 Market a lot of people use their products for scrapbooking and that kind of stuff, but as a junk journaler, I think that you can use them as well. And then another part of the collection is a set of acetate, and it has a bunch of different things on it. So this is like a street map, and I just added a little bit of glue around the edges of that, and the glue dries clear, so you won't even notice where it's glued. And then I'm just going to add this little car here, and that will kind of just be it for this page as well. Again, trying to leave myself room that I can come back in and add something if I want to, but if I end up not doing that, it's also fine. But it just gives me kind of a starting off point, and sometimes that just kind of takes the pressure off when you're trying to create, especially when you're trying to document like a week's worth of things. So this day I'm actually using the wide washi tape. This is a fabric washi, and it's repositionable, so if you don't get it down, you know, you can make sure you're getting it exactly where you want. But it's super, super wide, and I love all things map. I know that sounds weird, but I just do. So I'm just going to trim this down, trying to find my scissors. And I know seems a little bit chaotic here on my desk. It really was chaotic as I was working, because I was literally doing this the day that we were supposed to be leaving. I was waiting for my husband to get off work, and I was like, maybe I should just throw together a little journal before I go. It's just how my brain works. I can't help it. But anyway, so then flipping to the next file folder here, you can see that green one was the one that I added in from the original set, but I just was able to add in enough to make up for all of the days. And so I'm pulling out another one of these rub-ons. I really liked this cityscape, and I just thought it was so fun. So I trimmed off most of it. It's actually a little bit longer, and I misjudged the edge of that, so I'm just putting that release paper on there, and so I can get that other side. Keep knocking my glue bottle over. And then looking again, it's just everything is just chaos on my desk. I mean, I had just everything flying everywhere trying to get this done. It was so funny, but I just had to do it before we left. So anyway, just using that popsicle stick again, and then I'll go over the entire rub on here, and then I'm trying to avoid that edge where I know it's kind of overlapping. And then again, you'll see I'm just very, very slowly going to pull this up. I can see there's some areas that didn't get covered very well. And so I'm just going to make sure I'm getting all of that so that the full image releases. But these are great, because if it doesn't, then, you know, it's distressed. So you would never know that you actually missed it. But I'm going to go all the way to the edge, and there is a little bit of that hanging off there, and it's now kind of stuck to just the edge. It's not actually stuck to anything. It's just kind of holding on. So I decided to just go ahead and adhere that part to the back section of this file folder, and then I need to kind of score it because they're pretty thick rub-ons, and so that just opens that up. So when the file folder is closed, it completes that picture. Just gives the little edge a little bit of interest too. And then just for balance, I added a little sentiment up at the top. And then moving on to the next page, I have this kind of, it's sort of reminiscent of a map. It just has a lot of beautiful colors on it. And then I'm going to use these film strips. I have one that's kind of more like the solid version, and then the little more see-through. And again, these are the acetate ones. You can see I just scribbled the glue on there, but once this is dry, you won't even see my crazy little zigzag. And then on this one, I am trying to go just down the edges, just to make sure that, you know, it's not very visible. It's hard sometimes to glue down acetate pieces, but if you use a glue that dries, and also another trick to that is if you cover the entire back of it, it will also make it so that you can't see, but obviously I just used a little bit of glue there. So I added a few little ephemera pieces on that one, and that was it. This one I'm not going to do much to at all because this page is so beautiful, and I just used that butterfly kind of as the focal image, added that little circle that says Great Escape on it, and that's all for that page. So this piece that I'm adding here is actually from the ephemera pack, and it looks kind of like the pattern papers. I did have to trim it down just a little bit. I'm going to add this butterfly here on the edge, and you can see while I'm working I have my glue just kind of set on its side. I'm doing that so that I don't have to keep putting the pin in it, and I don't have to worry about it drying out while I'm working, especially because I'm working at such a fast pace with this one. You can see here again I added in another one of the pattern papers and then just one of the little chipboard pieces there in the bottom corner, and that's it. And I'm just going to do a quick flip through of all of the pages so you can kind of see how they turned out. Let me know if you'd like to see what this journal looks like when it's finished with all of the memories and fun things that we did. And like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, bye.